Sunday morning was a long day yesterday. Obviously Silverstone isn't particularly close to me, so I had to drive down there, quite a queue in traffic to get in, and then obviously back. Annoyingly, 2 people both messaged me and said, oh, come and find us in the pits and we'll show you around the team garages. No proper signal there, so I did completely miss the messages till this morning, which I'm gutted about, because that would have been the most interesting bit for me. I would have thought, looking at all the tech and tools and different things that they have, or even how the wheel nuts work, because it amazes me how they can take a wheel on and off in like less than a second and it doesn't get cross-threaded. Anyway, just gotta get something out of the workshop. So Charlotte needs some cable ties, one of the locks on the dog field. Anna's here flicking some merch up, and we had a calendar left, so he's got some mugs as well. So don't forget, if you want to go and check him out on the website, they're all giving him something to do. He's having a few days off next week, so when he comes back, it'll keep him like really busy. Just been watching the Formula 1 with my mum and dad, because 1, 2 and 3 on the grid were all British drivers, and if they'd finish in 1, 2 and 3, that would be the first time ever that they've won the British Grand Prix. He's had 3 British drivers on the podium, and also I think it was the first time ever that there's been 3 British drivers setting off. But one of them, well, actually it was quite a chaotic race. It's still not finished, there's still another 20 laps to go, but one of the drivers had to come off because he had a water issue with his car, so he retired even though he'd been in the front at one point. And also it kept raining. Typical British, so they can go to Monaco, they can go anywhere, Dubai, wherever it is that they race. And if the sky looks like that, the sky's like that all day. Come to Britain, looks like that 1 minute, next minute it's raining, then it's like that again. So the tyre choices were what were making and breaking the teams then. So it was interesting to watch. It was just like combining last year, really. You go out, it's like this, then it rains, and you park up and you wait. You try and go again, or you end up coming back and then it dries up. So it's quite funny that all the Grand Prix all over the world are very predictable, but the British one, because we have the British weather, never is. One thing though that's not minding the weather at the moment is the beans. So we've got a little bit of disease and a bit of chocolate spot, because the fungicides that we used to be able to use on them we can't use anymore. This one here, still got flowers on the surface. The bees must think it's going to rain now, because I can't hear any bees. Normally you'd hear bees in at this time. For some reason the petals, the leaves don't look very big. So the solar panel that fills the pods. But down at the bottom, so got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then there's going to be 10, 11, 12. So there's still plenty of pods forming. I mean, that one's not very big at all compared to my thumbnail. But if you look at the bottom one now, look at the difference in size between them two. You see it. Then coming higher up, like I say, there's still flowers on it. So hopefully the warm weather, they'll still keep growing. And then this is what we want to harvest. These beans in the middle. So these are for seed. So someone will basically plant these next year and grow them again. They're not beans for baked beans like Wardy grows. They're beans for grinding up and making like protein foods, and I think poppadoms are made from bean flour as well. But this field was sown in the dark, very, very patchy. You can see a different, like a line there, can you? Where's my hand? There. That was patched up 2 or 3 weeks later because it was so wet. We didn't have the drill all the way down and it wasn't quite metering, so we come back and did it. I think I showed you this a few weeks ago with the big ruts at the far end. But yeah, it's coming on now. Looks great until you look at the headland, where there's a patch of water and we were mauling. But on a whole, they don't look too bad. Everything else is going to be a bit rubbish this year, so if the beans pull the socks up for the wheat and the barley, that's a good thing. I'm just looking now, see the sunflowers growing in it. So we had sunflowers on this field in the past, and herbicide around sunflowers is really difficult, but for some reason they seem to survive really well in the beans. Yeah, if you sprayed sunflowers with a bean herbicide program, I'm sure it'd kill them all. Don't know if you can see, there you go, the hair just run off. Heard me coming and shot out and into another field. Now this field of winter barley should be ready in a few weeks, but it was quite late getting it in because of the wet weather. And if you turn the camera this way, There's massive green patches throughout the field where we had to patch up with spring. So that is miles behind, still bottle green. So we've got to make a decision as how late we can leave the winter barley that's now well ahead to harvest that without it falling on the floor, but have it so that that is going to actually be ripe enough to yield something and go through the combine without getting mushed up. So you see in that far end up there, it's totally green because that whole top end was re-drilled. The whole field has got something growing on it, but this winter stuff, the seeds are a lot bigger, the heads are a lot bigger, it's tilled, so there's more sort of stalks per plant than the spring stuff, because the spring stuff, you know, it went in wet, then it come cold, then it come hot, then it come dry, then it come wet again, then it come cold. So it's not had the best of starts. So if anything, it's going to produce straw and a little bit of grain, and I think straw this year is going to be pretty scarce. So yeah, at what point do we decide to pull the plug on the green stuff, and we'll probably have to spray it off to even it out, or we'll risk the other stuff being flat on the floor and the pigeons eating it, and there'll be nothing left of that. So basically that could yield 3 or 4 tons to the acre. Well, 3 at best, 2.5, 3. This could probably yield about 1 ton. So we don't want to lose that waiting for this, but equally we don't want to lose this completely by going in too early. So watch this space. I obviously had the privilege yesterday of going to pigeons. I hate pigeons. You see them flying out. To Silverstone yesterday. So Adam came with the Zerion, did a load more chipping with Rob. Nice pile of chip there as well. Don't know if you saw in the outro the other day. In fact, there's a picture of it now. Our chip is pretty much finished. Hopefully it's going to be here week of the 17th of July. So that's good. And then also my favourite tractors go in this week. Yeah, but the one that's coming looks a beast. This has been brushed out underneath now. Probably a little bit left to still get out of there. Matt's coming tomorrow. He's a joiner. He's going to make the rest of this box so that when the fan's turned on in there, on the grain dry, it's sucking the heat through the heat exchanger. Because we took the one apart while we dismantled that wall. We'll build that back up and then we'll put the wall back in later. We did shove the dryer over a bit further, so there is a bit of a gap there now to squeeze behind the outside. So we can probably put the wall back in the right place, or like Joe said, just clamp it to the inside of this rather than the middle of that pillar. Make it easier for putting in as well, and got a slight angle, so it won't matter where the corner's damaged and fell out here. We'll just be able to cement it up, hopefully. Right, well, on this end of the yard, go and have a look at the wheat. But you can tell they were chipping yesterday. It's like autumn in the yard. There's leaves blowing around everywhere. The wheat's behind here, but I was going to climb up and show you the keening after it's mixed all that concrete. But someone's backed it that far up. It's in the nettles. I don't fancy getting nettles showing you, but it's worked absolutely perfectly. So if you see it on eBay, I'd buy one if I were you. That was half the price of a pan mixer, but mixes 3 or 4 times the volume, and probably more. We've just not pushed it, but 3 cube isn't a problem at all with it. I'll show you this field of wheat here now if we get off this burnt patch here where we had some straw stacked. That's starting to ripen. It's still quite green now, but it is starting to ripen. It's just starting to change colour a bit now. You can see over there where it's still green. That was where it was flooded and we restitched it in. But it's pretty much stopped flowering now. The flowers like little white bits, look like grass seed, but there's none of them left on it. Flag leaf's just going to be a bit crispy now. Just dying off. Another 4 weeks. That'll be through the combine in the shed, hopefully. This, you can see how wet it was when it was drilled. That's where the drill's done a loop and it's compacted it and it's just not come. The best winter wheat we've got is up on the sandier ground at Rainhill, so we're going to try and have a look at that this week. But can't wait to just mow everything off, because even where it looks good like it does behind me, there's still areas like this on headlands where it's been mauled. Awful. When we rode to Silverstone yesterday, there's this huge field on a hillside. Top of the hill looked amazing, bottom of the hill looked awful, and I've got plenty of fields that look like that where you just think, well, a good yield off some of it and a below average yield on the rest. Still pays better than putting a spring crop in, especially after the spring we've had. Yeah, I'm gonna go and do this in a minute. Put some tarmac in bags, so it's got like an epoxy in it, some potholes by one of the dog fields. So James and Clara strapped in, ready to go. Oh yeah, yesterday at Brookhouse, this chef had his wedding there, and a bus come to drop everyone off. Went to turn around, thought it could turn around, I feel nearly fell in the pond. So Rob had to tow it out. Not got a video, but there's a little picture of it anyway. Really quick birthday to bumper today. Sorry about yesterday's being digital. If you didn't read it quick enough, you can pause it. I must say as well, don't forget to check out the Real Country File. That is also out today. So we've got Ben Briggs down at Groundswell. Stephen Lowe's been talking to someone about Great Eccleston Show, which is next weekend. We've got some tractors there as well as the quad track tractor pulling as well. And also, I'm at Newport Show next Saturday as well. I think it's called, Newport Show. Anyway, yeah, John Wilson's on there, Charlie Wright's on there, James Layton is 30, Susie Pierce, I think it's pronounced, it's 51. I remember putting her on last year for a 50th. £70,530, and also Chris, it's 10. Chris has put Danny on, and Danny's put Chris on for their 10th wedding anniversary from Coventry. So Chris works at Coventry Airport driving the John Deeres there. So congratulations to you on 10 years married. Now, I'm going to make my way out this shed because I've got to go and look at the field. But I think it's going on Wednesday. What's coming does look mega though, but yeah. I think we'll drop the mowers off. We left the mowers on hoping that we were going to get back out cutting grass. Just not had the weather, have we? Admittedly, today's been windy and warm, but there has been rain showers mixed in with it. I'm not going to say random video, but that's today's video. Not a lot happening. Got a little bit of spraying to do, but it's quite windy for that. And some of the spray actually isn't here. It's not quite the timing for it. So combine's all ship shape and ready to go. I think they'll come to see me tomorrow actually about that mango as well. See what they think my trading's worth if I was to trade it in and swap it. That's all. I'm feeling 85% today. Late night last night driving back from Silverstone. So a bit tired. How are you feeling? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to check out the Real Country File, and I'll see you tomorrow.